Today on the channel, we take a trip to the islands, Cobra Island with Cobra Island Target exclusive breaker and ram cycle. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another G.I. Joe classified unboxing and review. You guys know G.I. Joe's my bread and butter. That's what I cut my teeth on as a small Kyle and as an older Kyle. I absolutely love the G.I. Joe classified line, so I was very excited when Cobra Island started to continue. Cobra Island, beautiful this time of year. Watch out for the landmines on the beach. There's a few out there and a little bit of shark-infested waters, but I'll say all in all beautiful this time of year, Cobra Island is. We've all seen Cobra Island mania. Cobra anxiety, G.I. Joe anxiety has subsided to a pretty strong degree. As Major Blood, if you couldn't get a Major Blood, I don't want to say it was your own fault, but I'm going to say it's your own fault. There was a lot for cost plus shipping out there, and they were still on the pegs up till last week in my area. So Major Blood was out there, and we're seeing that already with this ram cycle. I have seen pictures of stores that have got upwards of 25 of these in already. I believe these hit the new modular start date of October 3rd in local Targets. So if you missed the pre-order windows that went up many a times with Target, you'll have a chance to find this at the stores. I do not think this will be too hard. I will give a special shout out to my beautiful wife, Angie. What a lovely wife to have this time of year. Is she found this for me out on a Target run while I was out of state traveling. It takes my wife to help me out every once in a while, so I appreciate Angie. Always on the lookout, always know what I'm looking for. She knows I love G.I. Joe, so I was very excited to get this through this week. Very excited to unbox this, and we're going to do this like we do all the other unboxings on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We'll see where it goes from there. We'll compare this to the Baroness Cobra Island exclusive. We'll compare them to a couple other figures for sizes, and we'll see where it goes from there like we always do. So let's take a look at the packaging first on old Breaker and his ram cycle. So there it is. Very similar packaging to the Baroness, which we know from last year's Cobra Island vehicle exclusive. G.I. Joe's an interesting line out there, as the figures are very important, and some people would say it's 50-50. I'm more about 70-30. I think the figures are 70% important, the vehicles are 30. I could see some people saying 50-50. I don't know if anybody would go the other way where the vehicles are more important, but the vehicles are very iconic in the G.I. Joe line, and it's very tough to do, as we've seen with Star Wars in the 6-inch scale, as they've had a few 6-inch scaled vehicles via Star Wars, and they haven't performed, I don't think, up to Hasbro's expectations, and we gotta always take that business step back. G.I. Joe is not quite Star Wars, unfortunately. As much as it's #1 in my heart, it's not in the average consumer's heart, so it's going to be tough to get 6-inch scaled vehicles for G.I. Joe, but I feel like Hasbro is doing a very good job at this point, giving us an iconic vehicle like the Ram Cycle, one of those grandma vehicles. You guys have heard me use grandma vehicles on the channel before. They're not the big, you know, the Trouble Bubble or aircraft carrier or any of that kind of stuff. They are the smaller vehicles that are a lot more budget friendly for your grandma when she's watching you for the day. She's not going to cheap out and get you just a figure. She'll get you that little vehicle to go along, and that's what this Ram Cycle is. And I had 2 of them as a kid. I even had the Sears exclusive Dreadnoks version, if some of you longtime G.I. Joe collectors remember that one. So have dabbled in the Ram Cycles over the years, so we'll see how it feels compared to the old ones I had when I was a kid. So I like getting these little vehicles with this. And then, of course, Breaker in there. Now, Breaker, one of the plainest Joes, I would say, of all time, actually. And one of the first Joes I ever had. I had a childhood Breaker. Unfortunately, he lost both of his thumbs to an early Kyle accident somewhere along the line. I remember those thumbs on those early Joes would break off, and that's what happened to my Breaker. Breaker was one of those guys that would die pretty much first off, and when I was playing with toys, he was kind of the guy that would start the war and start the battles off by getting killed by Cobra. But he was a good Joe, very reminiscent of the early years of the G.I. Joe cartoon, and then he later left. I believe there was that really good episode where they went into like the past or the future, and they showed Joe's dead, and Steeler was a part of it, and I believe Breaker and Steeler disappeared into whatever, the black hole or whatever it was. So that was kind of his arc. He is by no means the most popular Joe of all time. You know, he was kind of replaced later on by Dial Tones and Mainframes of the world, 2 guys I would love to see in the classified line. but I'm okay getting this breaker, and this breaker is truly a customizer's dream as well, as he's pretty plain Jane. I could see people putting different heads on him, kind of having him one of the grunt army builder soldiers. You could really do some stuff. So for customizers, this is a great basic body to do stuff with. So there's really a lot to like here, but let's get into it. Let's describe the packaging a little bit. The familiar, whoa, as I almost drop it, familiar Cobra Island logo down there, the G.I. Joe Classified logo in the bottom center, a little glamour shot of Breaker on the ram cycle. I don't really correlate Breaker and the ram cycle together, but I guess it works, but I don't correlate like I do some of the other vehicles, like Lift Ticket and the Tomahawk, for example. Those go hand in hand to me. Breaker and the ram cycle don't really feel that way, but I'm not opposed to it. On the top, we got, what is that, 29? So we got number 29 right here. Now, we've talked about that on the channel before. I think this should be number 2. Baroness should have been number 1. It should have been Cobra Island Vehicle Pack 1 and 2 instead of being part of the traditional line. Because I know a lot of people display theirs sideways. It doesn't work with these big packages. Drives me absolutely nuts. You can vehicles should be lettered differently. Exclusives should be lettered differently. Mainline. It's part of my, that's one of the few things I don't like about the Classified series. So we got that going on there. We got the Joe logo and all that kind of stuff. On the side, we got, since there's no file cards, you got to go online yourself, look these things up. I've never done it. I just wish there was blurbs and little things on here. We've talked about that at nauseum as well. But you got that with number 29. And you got Breaker on the ram cycle, just looking like a young bicyclist, basically what he looks like. Looks like he's ready for some action. And then on the bottom, you got UPCs, warnings, all that kind of stuff. And then the back, just really disappointing back. This is the worst part of the packaging here. I guess I like it. Hey, here's Cobra Island. There it is. Beautiful this time of year. Like I said, watch out for landmines on the beach, but it's all right. But it doesn't really do a lot for me. It doesn't do anything for me, actually. I mean, you can't tell me you couldn't have just put this square into a file card with a little picture and tell us some stuff about Breaker. Let's get the history of him out there. You guys know. I'm sure some of you guys are sick about hearing it. I get it, but that's just, I'm going to say it every single time. So there it is. There's the back. That's the packaging. See you later. Whoa, that went farther than I thought it would. On the back, we got a big Cobra Island, but in blue this time. If you remember the Baroness, it was in red. Had a little bit of that, so that is kind of cool. Very waves and crashing. I would love to have this without this insignia in the middle and just have this on a shelf as a background, like the Joe's sitting there pointing to it. This is where we got to go. We got to get through this treacherous waters full of sharks. Got to beat the landmines on the sand, and then we'll climb the mountain up to Cobra Island. But that is still pretty cool. I like that, and I could see people using this for something. So there you go. See you later. Now we get to the plastic prison on old Breaker. Whoa, we almost lost the old Gatling gun out the side. We better just, yeah, there it goes. There it goes. The Gatling gun's out. Plastic prison, there's Breaker. Got a couple of twist ties here that we got to knock out. Let's see if I can get him out of here. Whoa, we're breaking stuff. Things are falling apart. It's getting crazy. There it is. Uh-oh, we got one twist tie, or not a twist tie, I don't know. We're locked in. We'll put it that. We're locked in down here. There it is. Crunch, crunch. See you later. Now, very minimalist. I mean, they're trying to do the best they can for the environment, not have things locked in and less plastic, all that kind of stuff. So I guess we got to appreciate that. We got to appreciate it. So let's break her over to the side. I'm seeing a few things I like, and I'm seeing a few things I do not like right now. So we got this Gatling gun. Let me see if I can figure out how this goes. Like so. Let me put this back together. Maybe. It reminds me of the old days. I remember the old one had this kind of thing. And I do like that it detaches from the cycle. Oh, we got instructions. See you later. Get out of here. I like that it detaches from the cycle. So you could have just a straight cycle, or you can have kind of the sidecar with the weapon and stuff. And I would break that apart in my playing day. So I like to see that continuing in the new generation here. So nice thing about Breaker here is this Gatling gun can be used very similar to Roadblock. He can hold on to this, have this as his primary weapon, or you can put it inside of here and it's the weapon there. So it's a choose your own adventure, 2 for 1. But one thing I'll say right now is this shouldn't be Breaker's only weapon. He should have a pistol and a handheld or something with him, another weapon. This is a little time-consuming. If you're out there fighting in the jungle or you're somewhere else outside of your cycle, you're not lugging this thing around. So he should have a handgun or something on him. He does not have that, unfortunately. So that's a little disappointing. It's a little gripe. You can always get another weapon from another character or a third party. I guess you could if you wanted to, but you shouldn't have to. And I think they could have reused a pistol and a holster from somebody else. But that's a small complaint. But like I said on this, you don't have to have that gun in there. You can have it. You can have the cycle sideways and by itself, or you can put it in here. Let's see how hard this is to get in. Not hard at all, actually. You can see where it plugs right in there. Very simple. Just plugs in, and then it connects. Whoa, was I dropped things? And it connects right on the side. So very cool. If I can get it together. And there it is. Then you got it just like that. It's got the wheel down there that does roll. Very, very cool. Very cool there. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And you got USA on the top here. Kind of like the old stickers from back in the day you'd have on your Ram cycle and things like that. So that is cool. And then it plugs right on the side very easily. Plugs in very easily. One of my gripes as a little kid is it would fall off very easily, that side cannon. This is very tight. This locks in pretty good, but it is removable, like I've said a few times. There is a kickstand. I was going to say there's no kickstand on this, but yes, there is. Whoa, as I pull it apart, I mean, it's in there real tight, so there you go. So it does have a kickstand, so I like that on the bike. So then you can have the bike just sit there if you want. He can have this on the side. Really is choose your own adventure. This is made very well. This is very well made, very sturdy, very tight, especially compared to the old version when I was a kid. You've got peg stands on the side here. You can peg his feet in there. Stickers, you didn't have to put anything on it. It's all painted. I love not having stickers because that was one of the bane of my G.I. Joe existence as a kid, so I like that a lot. A lot of good details. It's army green bike. You got black tires. You got black, but then you got a little colors of gray in there to kind of offset some things. You got a black seat against the green. Just really good. And then you got industry cover and mechanic stuff. You got some of the stickers. They're painted on here, but it's reminiscent of the stickers we had way back in the day when I was a kid. Of course, you got controls up top. It moves, and it actually does affect the wheel. So if you do turn the steering wheel here, it moves the front wheel. So that is a nice attention to detail. You didn't necessarily need that on there. The Gatling gun does move as well. Just a lot to like about this. A very strong, cheap, grandma-esque vehicle, like I said. But, you know, back in the day, a grandma vehicle cost you $10, and a figure was about $4 or $5. Nowadays, you're looking at $40 for a figure in a cycle, which isn't terrible when you think the figures are $20, $25 in the cycle, about worth about the same. So the value is here. So that's the cycle. Very solid, very good attention to detail. I could see people using this for other toy lines out there. Maybe they put it in their Marvel Universe. It will scale with that, and you can always use motorcycles like this somewhere else. And while I'm here right now, I should compare the Baroness cycle before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Obviously, the Baroness cycle, a lot more futuristic, a lot more non-army, I guess. This kind of reminds you of cruising through the streets of Tokyo or something with the lights and the buildings and colors. So it's a little bit different. All day long, I'm taking the G.I. Joe one, but you can kind of see for size comparison, Baroness vehicle is way bigger, almost half the size bigger when you put these two side by side. So a lot of difference. Look how much bigger that is. Pretty crazy there, of course. And then, of course, Baroness, we saw that. Very similar packaging to Breaker. She comes just like the same thing, Breaker. So it's cool to get the yin and the yang. You got Cobra last time, you get the Joes this time. So the next time, if there is a next time with Cobra Island, where Cobra Island is rumored to be discontinued, you guys remember, and rumors are it's going to be Tiger Force versus Python Patrol. That's screaming in my old G.I. Joe days. I love Tiger Force. That was my favorite G.I. Joe subline of all time, and Python Patrol was pretty cool too. So we'll stay attuned for that. So now we look at Breaker. We look at this Breaker character. I love the head sculpt and hair on here, much like we saw with Duke and even Flint, giving these Joes a modern update in their hairstyles and stuff. Just fabulous. I mean, he almost looks like Bradley Cooper is kind of who he reminds me of on first impression. Does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? Let's get that out of the way. Let's see if that works. Of course he does. He fits right there. RingsideCollectibles.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save 10%. Spend your money on your figures, not your stands. I say it all the time. It fits right here. But this Breaker, very olive green, drab. He does have double-jointed elbows. He does have double-jointed knees. So there's some good articulation on this one. His head, removable, pops off very easy. So like I said, if you want to move different heads and compare some different people on here, you can easily swap some people around. This is a pretty good Army Builder base pack going on here. His vest is not removable. You could cut this out for a point of difference if you really wanted to. Get expensive to build this guy, of course, as you guys know, but it looks okay. He does have the butterfly arms as well, which is we don't get all the time, so I do like that, but that gives him extra articulation for when he is on his bike, so that makes a lot of sense to me. Good head movement here. You can move his head all the way around, up and down, side to side, all that fun stuff. A tremendous looking Breaker figure. My biggest gripe with Breaker, like I said earlier, is he doesn't have a handheld pistol or something on his side. I feel like he should have a smaller gun with him to go along with this one. A lot of these other Joes got multiple weapons. I would have liked to have seen a small, even if it was reused from one of the Flint or Beachhead or somebody else, I would have been okay with that. We do get a brand new helmet, a brand new sculpted helmet with Mike Piece on here for when he's wearing his bike. Maybe we'll see this in the future. Could we see this helmet with a lift ticket or a Wild Bill, maybe, possibly? We'll see. And he's got the cool shades with him. Now, we all know Breaker loved chewing bubblegum in the series. It would have been cool if we got a head, much like Marvel Legends had with Boom Boom, or Jubilee even, where she's blowing the gum. It would be cool to get a bubblegum blowing Breaker. They're both Hasbro. I think that's a missed opportunity there, because that's one of the most iconic things about Breaker. Unless he gave up gum. Who knows? Maybe in his old age. But does his helmet fit on his head? It does. It fits very good. I thought it was going to be tight, but it fits very nicely on his head. Looks good. He almost looks like a chopper pilot, like I said, so I could see this being reused for lift ticket maybe in the future. The bottom half, he does have the double jointed knees. He's got the ankles that move up and down. Can twist them all around if you really want to. And then you got the thigh swivel, and then you got the drop down hips, which I'm not a huge drop down hips guy. I think it sounds great on paper. It doesn't work for the Joes for me. It makes kind of the legs get a little frog looseness to them. But I like this Breaker. I like this pack a whole lot, and I love it even more that it's going to be a lot easier to obtain. I know I pre-ordered some. I have some coming pre-order. I definitely need one mint in the box, as I'm still collecting all the Joes mint in the box as well until I totally run out of room. But as of right now, I've got a loose set and a mint on box set, and I love it. I love everything about this. So you got Breaker right there. Let's stand him next to old Major Blood, another Cobra Island friend. Or foe, maybe. And he's got an extra gun on the side. I would have liked to have seen that, but you can see how he scales right there next to Major Blood. Perfect. Major Blood, a tremendous figure as well from the Cobra Island set. And then you guys know I got to bring my boy Flint into this. The greatest Joe of all time. The true leader of G.I. Joe, my boy Flint. My childhood favorite, my old age favorite, my all-time favorite G.I. Joe is Flint. Give me a Tiger Force Flint, give me more Flints, but I got Flint here to go next to Breaker. Gonna be good. I'm sure Flint will be stealing this motorcycle from time to time, as he's the true American hero. He's a real American hero. He is G.I. Joe to me. But I love it. I love how these scale. I love everything about it. I love the classified line. My allegiance is torn a little bit. We'll see what those Super 7 Joes look like in hand when we get those in about a year from now. But as of right now, I'm all in on the classified line. It speaks right to my heart, and I'm buying everything that I can find in the G.I. Joe line, and I'm excited for the future of this line. It's just interesting how we don't get, Marvel Legends, we get so many figures all the time. Star Wars, we get a pretty good clip of figures. G.I. Joes just come and bob and they weave, and it's just a couple here and there, which is nice for our wallets, but I would like some more true waves like we get with some of the other brands out there. We do have Barbecue. He should be coming here in the next couple of weeks, so that's the next Cobra Island one, so look for that review on the channel whenever I get Barbecue, another old favorite from my childhood. So we'll unbox Barbecue when he comes, but Breaker and the Ram Cycle, I'm going to give this one a better than expected. I expected it to be pretty good, but it is better than expected. Only thing missing to me is the handgun for Breaker, and I don't know if that's the end of the world, obviously, and I always have my packages gripes, so I got to get over that. I got to get over it, and I will one day. But solid. What do you guys think? Have you picked this up yet? Were you lucky enough? Like I said, they're starting to hit stores everywhere. I'm dropping this video on Sunday, and if you're out there, a lot of Targets are resetting their aisles starting Sunday, so you could possibly pop into your local Target later the afternoon after you watch this video, and you might see him on the shelf. So be on the lookout. If not, I'm sure he's coming via online very shortly, so be on the lookout there as well. But give me your thoughts on Breaker and the Ram Cycle and G.I. Joe Classified series in general. Y'all in, y'all out, you picking and choosing. Are you part of the Double Up Club like me? You guys let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got every G.I. Joe unboxing on this channel. That is, I know it's not the most popular of my viewers, but it's the most popular for me. So I love G.I. Joe. I'd do this all day long. Even if I wasn't filming this, I'd just be doing it by myself in the corner. The same speech, the same everything. I'm sure that's how it would go. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're marching towards 10,000 subscribers. Follow me on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram, and of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. So for Cobra Island, beautiful this time of year, the Ram Cycle, and my boy Breaker, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.